Why do we keep doing that? Like, it's going this way. Like, no, I'm fucking trying to straighten it down. This shit keep going like, whoop. Like, no, go do. What the fuck?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be talking about something a little bit controversial. We're going to talk about why I chose not to be a curly warrior anymore. Yeah. So just some background on like my hair journey growing up and everything like that, because I feel like that plays a lot to do with why I chose not to be a curly hair warrior and not to wear my hair predominantly curly anymore. So growing up, I grew up in a traditional black household. I was raised by my great-grandmother, and she was a woman who was always put together. Like, that woman, hair done, nails done. She was sharp, always well put together. And that's something that she always emphasized a lot growing up. And that influenced me a lot in my adult age. Growing up, I lived with her, and her and my cousin really cared about me and my sister and how we looked and how we looked going out in public. And one big thing of that was making sure that our hair was always done. And growing up, it was very much seen, at least for my grandmother and even my cousin for a majority of my life, that wearing your hair curly was seen as unprofessional or unkept. So I grew up at a very young age, always going to the salon, getting my hair done. I think I started literally going, by the time I was like 5 or 6 years old, going to get my hair done for church, or when we had like outings, getting my hair done. And it was something that they very emphasized the point of. And I grew up with the mentality that my hair being curly was seen as unprofessional, or, you know, wasn't a good look, especially when it came to your appearance. I remember always going to the hair salon if I had church, or my cousin always doing my hair growing up. And predominantly the styles that they would do were straight hairstyles. I remember going to Dominican salons at a very early age and sitting in a salon for like 4 to 5 to 6 hours because I was getting my hair blown out on almost a 2-week basis, which is kind of crazy when I think about it now. Like, as someone who's 5 or 6 years old, going to a Dominican salon on the regular. And I think that really played a part in how I'd viewed my hair, because even in middle school, I always predominantly wore my hair straight, and I liked my hair being straight. I always thought I looked my best when my hair was straight. I never, like, growing up, I could barely tell you times that my hair was worn curly out in public, or wasn't in braids, or just wasn't done, if that makes sense. And that kind of stuck with me for majority of my life. And as I got older and as I went into high school, I started, like, that's when the curly curls are beautiful and the whole curly hair movement became like a really big thing. And that's where a lot of people started being like, oh, like, you should wear your hair curly more often, you should embrace your curls, and this, that, and the third. And I really tried to kind of embrace my curls, and even then I got a lot of backlash from my cousin initially starting out, because she still had the same mindset, like, oh, your hair is unkept, like, you need to get it done, you don't look presentable if your hair is not done. Which, with curly hair, your hair is professional, your hair looks fine curly. I don't know where the notion of that curly hair equals unprofessional, or it's unkept or not well done, when there's plenty of curly hairstyles that you can do to, like, maintain that look. It really kind of contradicted me growing up when I tried to transition to being predominantly more curly than straight. I mean, I would still get my Dominican blowouts, and I would still get braids done, and I would still do these styles, but I tried to embrace the curls a little bit more. And the thing with my hair, and I'll share a picture with you guys, I have very thick dense hair. I had long hair, but it was always very thick and dense. And because of the fact that growing up, I predominantly got my hair straightened, my hair was very well heat trained. So I had very loose curls. It wasn't as thick as it is now curly. So when I started transitioning to more natural styles, I didn't know how to style it. And I found it very difficult to manage my hair, because once you have that heat trained hair start to grow out, your natural texture really comes out. And I realized that it was a lot different dealing with my heat trained hair as opposed to my actual natural hair, because it has all the original texture there. It's not a looser curl that now you're having to manage. It's all original texture. I went from having maybe a 4B hair to not even 4B, like a 4A, 4B, 3C hair, to having 4C hair, 4B hair. And I found it really difficult trying to find styles. I remember, especially growing up, I had a lot of Hispanic friends and Portuguese friends who had a lot looser curl texture than I did. And I find it kind of hard to find people who had my similar hair texture, especially in high school. And I remember I used to have my hair straight like this, and I would take like a tiny curling iron and curl my hair so I'd have like tighter curls. That were a lot closer to girls who were Hispanic or Brazilian that had a lot looser curls, because I wanted that hair texture. I wanted something that was a little bit more manageable, and I absolutely fried the dog out of my hair. It was so much heat damage.
Ugh. Brother, ugh.
In high school, it was actually insane. And I really struggled with styling and doing my hair with the heat damage and like figuring out my hair texture. And that's when I also, for my cousin, she started embracing her natural hair. So now she went a whole 360 from being like straight hair is unprofessional to why don't you wear your hair more curly. And I really struggled between the two because I grew up predominantly with straight hair and knew that getting my hair blown naturally was the easiest method for me. So my senior year of high school, I basically went almost full natural. I stopped going to Dominican salons very often. By the time I was in college, I was basically doing my own hair, still kind of struggling a lot with doing my natural hair and balancing getting my hair blown out and getting my hair manageable with my natural texture. And throughout college, I kind of went predominantly natural, mostly due to the influence of like other people, because they were like, oh, like still this whole curly hair is beautiful journey. Everybody's now embracing the curls, so now I felt pressure to now I have to embrace my curls, even though I had no idea. I bought hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of products. I watched every single curly hair tutorial video I could find. High porosity, low porosity, trying to figure that out. And I really struggled with doing that. I didn't see the love that people were trying to force onto me of loving my hair curly. Because I do love my hair curly. But the way where people were like, you shouldn't straighten your hair, like you should wear it natural, you should wear it out curly, and you know, you should be embracing your curls and your blackness because you have curly hair, and all this nuance of curly hair and embracing it. I really struggled, and I spent a lot of money, and I didn't see the growth, and two, the manageability of my hair. I found it very difficult and frustrating trying to do my hair curly, finding styles that weren't the same, making sure I'm not doing hairstyles that are causing tension. Actually, I experienced a lot of where I wore ponytails and I wore a lot of buns. So eventually, at some point, my hair actually started pulling out here, and it still is like trying to grow back now. I had a lot of tension in my hair because I didn't know what to do with it predominantly at the time. So I throw it in a slick back, or I throw it in a bun or a drawstring ponytail as my way to like put a band-aid on the solution. And it caused so much, like you can still see it here, it caused so much hair loss in the front because I was pulling at it so much because I didn't know how to do my hair. And then in college also, I decided, let's try protective styles. If I can't really manage my hair curly, I can try protective styles. And at the time, I did not know how to braid. I just learned how to braid maybe 2-3 years ago. I did not know how to braid my hair, didn't know anything about sew-ins, nothing. So in college, there was a girl who got a deal for sew-ins, and it was my first time ever having a sew-in. My family never permed my hair, never let me get sew-ins ever as a child growing up. And I was like, I'm going to do my adulting and do a protective style and do a sew-in. And I had a sew-in with a leave out, which is basically when they leave part of your hair, like around this area, out for it's easier to style. Which I should have did was got a frontal closure sew-in, not a leave out. Because when I tell you this much of my hair was fried, completely fried, because I didn't know how to manage a leave out. It was so itchy. I cut out some of my hair, removing the sew-in. It was a really terrible experience. And I just felt so defeated doing my hair. So I went back to wearing the buns. I went back to wearing the drawstrings. And I didn't feel happy with my hair. I didn't see any growth. If anything, I saw a lot of breakage. And from someone who went from having decently long hair, like my hair was like to here, to now having hair that was like here, it really killed my confidence in my hair, because I just felt like everything that I was doing was wrong. Like nothing I was doing was working. I'm trying to embrace my curls, but like I'm hating it more than anything in the process. And then eventually after college, like I did start wearing my hair a little bit more. I started getting better at styling it and doing my hair and doing curly hairstyles and finding new ways to do my hair. And I really started wearing braids, and I felt like that helped me out a lot. The only thing is with braids is also really expensive to maintain, as opposed to Dominican blowout. My Dominican blowouts were no more than $60, and getting your hair professionally braided nowadays is almost $200 to sit in someone's chair for 4, 5, 6 hours. And I didn't want to pay that amount. So most of the time I would be braiding my hair, and I would braid for 5 to up to 6 hours straight. And it just was so much to deal with. I just always felt frustrated doing my hair, and it made me really think that like when I had my hair blown out like it is now, it was so much easier. I had such great length retention. I really struggled with fairy knots. I never really had fairy knots. Maybe my split ends was the only issue that I had. I never, despite me frying my hair in high school, never had heat damage. It was just so much easier to do, and so much easier for me to manage my hair. There's so many hairstyles that I was able to do. I had no tension. I was able to grow back eventually like my edges, and it just made my life so much easier. I could go weeks without having to touch my hair. I could do the ponytail still, the drawstring ponytail still. I could do hair extensions, which I learned how to do myself. It made my life so much easier, and it made the stress of doing my hair so much less work, especially when you're working multiple jobs like I do. I don't have time to spend 5 hours braiding my hair and then taking it down, and having a day designated to it. I don't have time to fight my hair every day to style it for work and go out and not even like the hairstyle to begin with. And I think that's why I've kind of decided now as an adult and as someone who's been through a multiple hair journey, why I prefer being a straight natural. And I think for me personally, it's in my best interest to do it because it's so easier to deal with. It's way more manageable. I find my hair grows so much better when my hair is straight. My hair, I'm gonna post a picture in here where you can see my hair from a couple months ago to now, where it's so much longer than when it used to be because of the fact that I'm just straightening it more, and I'm leaving my hair the hell alone. I'm not putting any tension. I'm not putting ponytails in all the time. I can have it down. I can wear it long with my extensions and not have as much tension as braids or as these tight curly hairstyles do. And it just makes my life so much easier. And I just see me doing my own Dominican blowouts even at home as opposed to in salons so much cost effective, because I can splurge and go to a Dominican salon and get my hair done. But being able to do it on my own terms at my house and spend almost the same amount of time braiding my hair, if not less, and have it last longer and not cause any more hair damage, I see the perks in that. And I think that women who decide to become a straight natural get a lot of hate and get a lot of backlash from the natural community because they think you wearing your hair predominantly straight is you not embracing your curly texture, when if anything, I feel like I'm protecting my texture, one, and two, who the hell cares what I want to do with my hair? Like, why is it a big deal to you if I prefer wearing my hair straight? I see the convenience of having my hair straight as opposed to having my hair curly. Doesn't mean I love my curls any less, but for me, it works best for me. And if you want to spend hundreds of dollars on hair products and detangling and high porosity and low porosity and figuring out all these different things, that's up to you. That's just all you. I salute you, but I personally cannot do that anymore. And I think knowing what works best for me in my personal hair journey, I think it's something that a lot of women need to embrace. I don't think I love my curly hair any less. I still wear it curly out. I still have curly hairstyles that I'll wear. Like, I'm not going to just straighten my hair to go out or anything like that anymore. And I do wear it more often than I did when I was younger. But for my lifestyle, it just suits me way more. And it's just more convenient. And I think the demonization of straight naturals needs to stop. It generally just needs to stop. Because I don't judge you for cutting your hair off when you have long, luscious hair. Like, why would you do that? It's the same thing as that. Like, people have their own preference of how they want to do the hair, and they should be allowed to do it however they want without there being an opinion. Like, my hair is not heat damaged. It's heat trained. My hair can be like this and revert tonight if I wash it and be curly again. And I think there's just a lack of education when it comes to hair care and it comes to straight natural hair care. Yes, can you have heat damage? Yes. Can you fry your hair? Yes. But can you maintain curly, healthy hair without the issues of fairy knots, split ends, tension? Yes. It's possible. And I think we need to stop caring so much of what people do with their hair. I think because of social media and image, people care a lot about people's opinions. When your hair journey is your hair journey. If you want to wear it curly, wear it curly. If you want to wear it straight, wear it straight. If you want to perm your hair, that's your business. And I think people just need to let people do what they want to do with their hair. At the end of the day, it's my life. I can wear my hair however I want, and whatever works most convenient for me, I don't see that being an issue, and I don't feel that it should be an issue for someone else of how I wear my hair. But that's just, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it resonates with somebody who might be struggling with curly hair and might be thinking about being a straight natural. And knowing that hair care is a journey. Like, you're going to struggle. You're going to have some really great times, have some really, really bad times. But it's your own personal journey. Whatever works best for you and makes you feel confident, I think you should do that. And yeah, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.